Empire has big plans for you. Now let's say. Is that how it ends?
But I was going into Tosche Station to pick up some power converters.
The last episode. It's crazy that it's already been 15 weeks. I was going to say 16, but the first and second episode came out the same week. Wow. Kamino lost. Okay. That, I mean, it's definitely not wrong. And it's a normal length episode. Oh, man. What's going to happen? God, the view of Kamino with this animation is just, it's just so good looking. Omega has to know something about this facility that's not the usual. These buildings are going down much faster than I anticipated, actually. Omega got cut off from them. I think Omega's with Crosshair, because I think Crosshair got stopped before the rest of the Bad Batch. The craziest part is that clones were firing down on Kamino. Oh, that view. Oh my god. I just can't get over it. But yeah, that clone that was given the report to Rampart, he hesitated a little bit for sure. Which, I mean, of course he would. Oh, the droid's still with Omega. I mean, if they let go some of the water, then they won't flood as quickly. So there's that at least. If Wrecker is able to open the door a little bit more. Oh, nice. Omega used her bow. Smart. We weren't gonna leave you behind. That's a first. Doesn't have his helmet or anything. That's sad. His helmet always looked dope. All the cloning pods are getting flooded and exploding, and oof. This whole episode's going to be great. I have a feeling. All the visuals and stuff. All right, so they're at the bottom of the ocean. Crosshair and Omega share to look right there. We'll see what comes of that. I think Crosshair is going to not necessarily start caring for, but see Omega and then just kind of stay with Bad Batch possibly. I don't know. They landed on the underwater tunnel? Really? There must be more than that other tube to have that whole building land on top of the tube. But they got into the tunnel. Ooh, there's a crack. I was gonna say, Wrecker getting emotional. Then of course Tech coming up with logic and reason and stats. Really? Ocean animals now? There's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish.
Try to stay alive. Thanks, AZ. That's real helpful. See, if he could fly up that tube, why did he have to hold on to Omega when he was falling? It's like a big old turtle with a couple extra flippers. Oh, this water's still coming in though. Outcome satisfactory, my ass, AZ. Oh, they're back in Nalase's research lab. Oh yeah, Hunter wasn't with them. The tunnel back to their ship is destroyed. Of course. He's running out of battery. He's probably going to do something to try to save the Bad Batch. Crosshair's still on that Empire train. Couldn't they, like, break out, prepare for the flash flood, and swim up to the top? Well, I guess, there was that giant-ass monster. Omega sent by Crosshair, just like episode 1. Yeah, I don't think the inhibitor chip has anything to do with Crosshair anymore. So they're going to hop in the medical capsules to float to the top with AZ kind of steering them. But we'll see if AZ has battery for the entire way up. Because he was having a little bit of trouble earlier. Oh, Hunter's with Crosshair. Oh, they're all doubled up except for Wrecker, who has... No one? Why wouldn't Omega double up with someone? Doesn't that make the most sense since she's the smallest? But hey, whatever. Come on, AZ. You got this. You got this. You're doing great, AZ. Omega gets hit and thrown down to the ground. Oh no. Come on, AZ. Lift. Uh-oh. Yeah, the battery. He's probably going to spend his last energy getting Omega out. Oh, AZ's going to run out of battery here. No. Your path is clear. I have completed my objective. That's so sad. No, don't. Omega, come on. That droid is probably hella heavy. There's no way you're going to be able to swim up to the top. Yeah, A crosshair with the save. Look at that fucking grapple hook shot. There's good in you after all, Crosshair. It's light now? Did it take them that long to get here? How long were they paddling? Sheesh. Is Crosshair just gonna stay there? Saving AZ. He fucking saved you. Oh wow, he's still staying. They didn't at least take him captive? Bunch of commandos and now let's say. That person already has a suit that looks like Pershing from Mando. Empire has big plans for you, now let's say. Is that how it ends? Alright. There's no like end credits scene, is there? It's not Marvel. Alright, we're done with Bad Batch now. Let's go ahead and rank this episode. I think it's definitely one of the better episodes. I think this was a really good episode, but I don't think it was as good as the last couple episodes. So I think this is a solid episode 5, because I mean realistically they just got off Kamino. That's the only major plot that happened. It was all about the exposition that happened, which was good obviously, but I don't think it was better than episode 14, 15, 1, or 8. So I'm gonna say Kamino Lost is going to come in at number 5 at an 8.4. Yeah, this is my list for the entire season. Coming in last, episode 13, Infested, at a 5.8. Then episode 11, Devil's Deal, at 6.1. Episode 2, Cut and Run, at 6.2. Episode 5, Rampage, at 6.3. Episode 10, Common Ground, at 6.7. Coming in at 11 is episode 6, Decommissioned, at a 6.8. Episode 12, Rescue on Ryloth, is 6.9. At episode 9, rounding off the bottom half, is episode 4, Cornered, at a 7.0. At number 8 is episode 9, Bounty Lost, at 7.1. Ventus episode 7, Battle Scars, at 7.5. Episode 3, Replacements, at 8.1. At number 5 is episode 16, Kamino Lost, at 8.4. At number 4 is episode 14, War Mantle, at 8.5. Number 3, episode 1, Aftermath, at 8.7. I honestly thought that was going to be lower by the end of the season, but it happens. It was also a damn good episode. Coming in at number 2 is episode 8, Reunion, at a 9.3. And numero uno, episode 15, Return to Kamino, at a 9.5. I'm curious what the average score I gave everything was. My average score I gave everything was a 7.43125. I don't think that's all too bad. It's pretty solid. I feel like I was pretty lenient on some of the scores, but overall, with this being only a season 1, I think that's reasonable, as you kind of need to develop some character depth throughout the season, especially if there's going to be a season 2. So I think that's fine. The whole episode realistically can kind of be described up in one quick sentence. They get off Kamino, which is fine. It was all about the journey. But realistically, it was about the journey. It was about how they got to the end, who helped end the exposition on their way there. Because this was actually Hunter and, of course, Crosshair's first time coming through Nalisay's secret lab. Maybe it wasn't secret, but it was a personal lab that she used to enhance the mutations in Clone Force 99. And other than that, Crosshair basically saves Omega at the very end, but Crosshair still decides to stay behind when the Bad Batch leave, which I don't think he has any comm or anything like that, so I don't know how he's going to get off. I don't know how he's going to get off Kamino, because the whole Empire fleet left already. Because by the time they got back to the Marauder, which is Bad Batch's ship, it was daytime. So the time that it took to paddle from where they came out from the tubes to the platform took through the rest of the night. And we basically find out that this is just kind of who Crosshair is now. He's not back with the Bad Batch. He's choosing to stay with the Empire, which is interesting because I wonder what the Empire is going to do with them after, I'm assuming he gets back to them safe and sound, because I doubt he's just gonna starve to death at Kamino. That'd be kind of anticlimactic. But yeah, he's probably gonna be like the main villain in season 2. And I'm kind of surprised that no one died, honestly, because all the clones are getting decommissioned or died. And who knows how long the Bad Batch have, because obviously we don't see him in anything else like Mando or anything after this canonically? I almost said canonically. So it'll be interesting to see how many seasons they plan for Bad Batch, and two, how they decide to go forward with the plot. Because Omega, I don't think Omega still has bounty after her, unless Cad Bane's still after her, which haven't seen anything from him since episode 8, I think. So Lama Su probably got taken captive, so unless Cad Bane saw that and was like, oh, screw this job, he can't pay me anymore, he's gonna go find other jobs, then that's fine. And I wonder if Fennec got any contact from Nala Se before Nala Se got taken captive. Because then Fennec would know what happened to her. And then maybe then she's like, oh, maybe Nala Se gave Fennec Shams like, oh, go protect Fennec or watch over her or something like that. I think that's possible, since I'm sure we'll see Fennec in the next season. Probably along with Boba Fett. It's going to be kind of like a Mando thing. Boba Fett and Fennec are just going to show up. But yeah, the overall plot of this episode isn't too deep. It was just kind of all about the exposition that happened, which I think made it a very solid episode. Not necessarily one of the top 3, as I put it at 5, but it was still good. What could be happening for season 2? I don't know. No clue. They're leaving Kamino, so I'm assuming they'll kind of meet up with Sid, because they spent this whole damn season with her. But I don't know. They don't have any reason to go back unless they want to make money. But if it's just a bunch of Sid missions next season, that's going to be a little boring. It might be fun, but it's going to be a boring plot line. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And also, what Rex was up to. Because he was kind of like in a rush when we last saw him over Comm. And we have no idea what came of that. So hopefully we find that out this season as well. This next season. That was a solid finale. Not amazing by any means, but if this was the ending to the series, I would have been disappointed. Because there was a lot of people, including myself, who anticipated someone dying. Not saying that we want people to die, but that creates more stakes and makes the plot much more interesting. But yeah, I think that's all I got. Thank you everyone for watching these videos throughout the season. I know that I haven't really put out all too much content other than this, but I mean, it's Bad Batch, so it kind of have to. I want to thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with you.